How do you cut through the complexity of undertaking an energy audit without feeling overwhelmed? So to keep it really simple, the first thing is that you need to have a very clear scope of works for the energy audit. So what's involved in a clear audit scope? This is critical, and I think it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, mistake that energy auditors make. They think that they have a clear scope, but they actually don't. For example, the scope might be to take a level 2 or a type 2 energy audit of a facility, referencing a particular standard. That's actually not a very clear scope. Why do you think that's the case? A clear scope includes with it things like the resources available to implement actions that will save energy or implement energy efficient measures, and it also includes the constraints that the organisation has. So a better scope for an energy audit would be to say, I want you to do a type 2 or level 2 energy audit. We have $200,000 that we want to invest in energy efficiency upgrades over the next 2 years, and we're relying on the energy audit to tell us how to spend that money. We want our money invested in a way that gets the largest savings and the fastest return on investment. And it's critical, this project won't proceed if we don't get an internal rate of return of at least 16% on our investment. So now that is a very clear energy audit scope. It tells you quality of the audit, which is a level 2 or type 2, referencing the standard, but it's also very clear about the budget, the time frame, the hurdle rates. It gives you the constraints of the budget and the constraints of the hurdle rates. Also gives you an implementation time frame. So when that's your scope and you've asked questions to clarify that scope, the audit is much more likely to be implemented. And ultimately, a good audit is one where the advice in it is implemented. Now, if your client isn't clear about those things, if they just would like to, I didn't know what they need to do to save energy, but aren't actually really committed to saving energy, then I think you've got a bit of a problem. And you need to step back and educate the client before you even put forward your quote for the energy audit, because maybe an energy audit is appropriate for them.